Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
William Gargan stars as Barrie Craig Confidential Investigator in a program entitled Two Dead Men that was originally broadcast June 23rd, 1955.
William Gargan stars as Barrie Craig, Confidential Investigator.
For that charge to cure that tired, listless feeling, apply to a switch artist named Max. Max, of course, being the state electrocutioner.
The National Broadcasting Company presents William Gargan in another transcribed drama of mystery and adventure with Barrie Craig, Confidential Investigator.
Barrie Craig speaking. Any formula for mixing dynamite is good enough, provided the end result is an explosion. What is the Craig formula for dynamite? Okay, 2 ingredients are required, namely, amateur tennis and the international social set. The result, strictly dynamite. I had both ingredients wished on me one balmy summer's afternoon at the tennis matches. I was in a grandstand box under the candy-striped awning. Ah, life as she is lived. A tall iced drink in my hand and my hostess at my elbow. Said doll, an aging blonde, was Hilda Hobson, former screen star, very rich, very eccentric, and queen of the International Cafe Society.
Great, wonderful! Oh.
The tennis match in progress was the tournament championship finals. Kurt Kenny versus Bobby Blaine. Both lads as big in tennis as Rocky Marciano in boxing. The player, Kurt Kenny, was, oddly enough, husband to Hilda Hobson. I said oddly enough because the boy was 25, about half the age of his bride and my client. What was I doing in a twosome with Hilda Hobson? Watching her jewels. $250,000 worth of ice, as the lady herself explained it.
Oh, I wear my jewels to the tennis finals every year. It's traditional.
It's wicked. Hold still while I take inventory. By the by, who's winning out there?
Bobby Blaine's leading in the 5th set.
Kenny and Blaine won 2 sets apiece so far. This one's the rubber match.
Yes, Kurt's behind 4-love.
4-love meaning 4-0, 5th set. Looks like your hubby's chances for the championship is down the drain.
It does look hopeless for Kurt. Oh, well. Oh, played! Wonderful! Oh, wonderful.
What was played?
You're not watching the match.
I can't and also watch your jewels.
Oh, and ace. Bobby Blaine just scored a beautiful service ace.
You sound like you're rooting Blaine in instead of Kurt Kenny.
Blaine is such a beautiful player.
Well, so is your husband.
Kurt? Kurt is past his peak.
Oh? What goes now?
They call time. Mr. Craig, will you please follow the game and stop asking me questions? I'm beginning to feel, well, heckled.
Time called meant a minute's pause. Time for the players to sponge their brows, swallow salt and energy tablets, guzzle soda pop kept in a handy ice bucket. I watched Kenny and Blaine return to the court. The only thing, there was no action. It was Bobby Blaine's service, but he wasn't serving. He was stalling, looking a bit wobbly in the knees.
Why doesn't Blaine serve?
I don't know. Ask me, he looks a little sick.
Sick? Good heavens, he just needs one more point for the game.
Blaine's down. He's flat on his face in the dirt.
Give me those binoculars. What? Blaine's just lying there.
Unconscious. I mean, if only unconscious.
If only unconscious.
The heart, m'lady. 5 grueling sets in a 90-degree heat, or are tennis players immune to heart attacks? In the emergency room, a quick complex of first aid and restoratives did nothing for the horizontal tennis player. A full-fledged doctor hadn't arrived yet. The tournament public relations man was doing emergency medical on us. A fidgety chap named Benton, Harry Benton. Say, if I could get closer to the patient a minute.
Why, sure, go ahead. Please stop crowding around, folks. Please, this isn't an exhibit.
Well, mister?
Cancel the doctor call and call the morgue wagon.
Blaine is
very dead.
Blaine's heart, was it?
That was my guess right off. But I don't think so any longer.
You don't think so?
The rigidity of the face and the neck muscles.
Pretty horribly contorted.
Blaine died in agony.
What are you sniffing at?
A powdery residue around his lips.
Oh, that's the salt tablet.
Salt is odorless.
Do you find a smell?
Enough to bowl me over. But not quite like it bowled Brother Blaine over. Blaine was poisoned, a quick poison to which he reacted almost immediately. $10 says the medical examiner will spell out the text of my diagnosis. Murder. The deputy medical examiner pronounced it death by poison. The murder made big evening headlines and juicy gossip among the tennis set. I had an evening drink with the public relations man, Harry Benton, at Benton's request. We met in a place called the J. Cretin Memorial Club.
I want to engage your professional services, Mr. Craig.
To do what?
Clear up the mystery.
Who murdered Bobby Blaine and why?
Yes.
Well, have some faith in the police.
We want a private operative working in close liaison with us.
We and us. Explain the plural.
Well, sir, I represent the J. Cretin Memorial Tennis Association. You know the name J. Cretin?
Hazily. A champ tennis player once upon a time.
A tennis giant, Mr. Craig. Cretin died in the 20s. He left a $5 million trust fund to endow tennis, encourage and develop young players.
Et cetera, et cetera. It's embarrassing. It's bad public relations. It's a black eye for the J. Cretin Foundation.
Yes. Will you take the job?
I took it 10 minutes ago. I'd love some of the J. Cretin Memorial loot for myself. What have I got against money? Now, orient me. Who in Tennis Society had murderous impulses toward the late Bobby Blaine?
Tennis Society is a world unto itself. Pretty peculiar. You've no idea, Mr. Craig.
You're a guy who just loves talking around the mulberry bush, making with the long-winded preamble. Come on, Benton. Take me inside tennis. I kicked off my investigation with Kurt Kenny. Kenny had a case of nerves.
Look, I'm in no mood for any interrogation.
Nobody ever is.
Some other time, huh?
Murder can't wait.
Oh, yeah, and that murder theory. Ask me, it's a malarkey. You cops, always trying to make a dull job look sensational.
Diagnosis, murder. Medical examiner verified it. Poison.
Nobody pried Blaine's jaws open and fed him the poison.
No, but somebody left a pill handy to Blaine's reach between games. A pill Blaine would confuse with the Standard Energy or salt tablets.
Oh. Is that the autopsy report?
I'm betting it will be.
Well, now, why would anyone poison Blaine?
Why would anybody poison Blaine on a tennis court? And at the exact time it happened.
Is that an oblique dig at me?
You're the only beneficiary to Blaine's death I know. Yet.
How am I a beneficiary?
The incident saved you from defeat. I think you wanted to win today, with every fiber in you. And for more reasons than just the title.
Well, now, what other reasons would I...
To stay on top. Be tops with Hilda Hobson. Keep the relationship superheated.
Blunt, isn't he? Barrie Craig Confidential Investigator from June 23rd, 1955, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medishare for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medishare's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medishare is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it. Find out why they rave about the customer service, and Find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of William Gargan as Barrie Craig Confidential Investigator, June 23rd, 1955.
If Hilda Hobson had any inhibitions, they weren't showing.
You deserted me there in the stadium.
I'm sorry. A corpse generally has priority.
I suppose you've come to ask me embarrassing questions.
You could just let me read your diary.
Oh, not on your life. Ask your first question.
At the game today, I guessed you to be sour on Kenny and sweet on Bobby Blaine.
Was it so obvious?
And how did Blaine feel? That is, before he lost all feeling.
Very eager for my company.
Very eager to win the title of Mr. Hilda Hobson from Kenny?
I'd half promised Blaine I'd divorce Kurt Kenny, but what dull questions, Mr. Craig.
Sorry. What power do you wield over these young athletes?
I'm worth $5 million, Mr. Craig. My husbands enjoy liberal allowances.
Oh, walking around money. Who and play tennis. Answer me this. What fatal appeal do these young men have for you? Can I get a frank answer?
No, you can't.
Well, then give me a funny answer.
As a girl, I idolized the classic Greek gods. At 50, I still do.
Now, who murdered Bobby Blaine?
I suppose Kurt Kenny, poor deluded boy. As if the removal of Blaine could possibly help him with me.
Won't it?
No.
Some other Greek god on the horizon?
One always happens along.
Oh, sure. There are 6 major tournaments before the close of the year. Your young Greek gods, all born poor on the wrong side of the tracks. All crazy to get invited to the best places, using a tennis racket to club their way into society. Oh, it's a nice, vicious circle. Leaving Hilda Hobson's, I didn't quit the grounds of the estate. Not yet. I headed for the garage. The Hobson chauffeur had an apartment over the garage. A chap named Pepe Zaretti. He'd figured in the purple gossip the public relations man, Harry Benton, had passed along to me. Like his boss lady, Pepe was but totally uninhibited.
Was I once the husband of Hilda? Yes. I had that unforgettable pleasure.
You were a South American tennis title holder once.
I was the best tennis player in the world once.
Until Hilda married you and put you on an allowance.
I have no regrets. It was a charming interlude, our marriage. Guinea hen, champagne, skin diving in Bimini.
Whose idea was it for you to stay on as chauffeur after the divorce?
We arrived at the idea, how you say, yes, simultaneously. Hilda does not love Pepe anymore, but she does not hate me. So I stay to serve her this way, as her good friend and chauffeur.
How's your tennis?
I am fat here in the middle, and here in my wrist, rheumatism.
Very sad. So who poisoned Bobby Blaine?
You want me to answer that?
I'd appreciate it.
Poor Kurt Kenny. How terrible if Pepe Zaretti sent him to the electric chair, huh?
You're saying Kurt Kenny did it?
Yes, I say. I say what I see.
Now, what did you see and where?
Driving to the stadium this morning for the championship finals. I am driving Kurt Kenny. We are stopped to give Bobby Blaine a lift.
Cozy. The opposition riding to the battle together.
No, it's a courtesy. Blaine's car is broken down. He's stranded on the highway as we pass.
Go on.
Well, in the car, I hear with my ears Bobby Blaine saying that he forgot his energy pills, that they are left in the dashboard compartment of his car. Then I see what I say.
Don't scramble it. Say it.
Kenny gives Bobby Blaine a few energy pills of his. I see this in my rearview mirror.
You're really putting the finger on Kenny.
To think that I should be the one.
Now tell me, who succeeded you as Hilda's husband? I mean, direct succession.
Kurt Kenny. Hilda saw him win a tournament in Milan. And that night she locked me out of the house. Fini, we were through. You think I'm revengeful against Kurt Kenny?
Aren't you?
Yes, I am. I would tell any lie to hurt him.
Like now?
No. This time I'm telling the truth. The electric chair for Kurt Kenny. What a delicious possibility.
I found Blaine's buggy in a Trilex garage where it had been towed for repairs. I had to force the lock of the dashboard compartment. There was at least some truth to Pepe Zaretti's testimony. I found a small cardboard box. The box contained square white tablets, energy pills, presumably. It now looked like the late Bobby Blaine could have borrowed a few pills from Kenny. A few pills with one of them doctored with a deadly poison. That is, unless somebody hadn't planted the ones I'd just found to incriminate Kenny. Somebody like Pepe Zaretti. A nice trick, very easy to work. My client, the public relations man, Harry Benton, perspired freely over my temporary report.
If you prove Kurt Kenny guilty of the murder, what a blow to tennis.
What a blow to the J. Cretin Memorial Association, you mean?
Yes. The association originally discovered and sponsored both Kenny and Blaine. Both were identified with the association as protégés. The fund maintained them, paid their college bills, developed them as players.
Until Hilda Hobson took over the burden.
Well, you can't blame the fund.
Maybe not. But boys born to working-class families lose their sense of balance in a susceptible atmosphere. Too many of the expensive set making a fuss over them. I mean, if the boy's a winner. And only for so long as he continues to be a winner. Ask me. Big tennis could use a little more soul. However...
That's neither here nor there. Mr. Craig, the problem now is how to restrain the press.
Restrain the press from what?
From sensationalizing Kurt Kenny's arrest. I've got to get them to play it down in the interests of tennis.
You're being a little previous, Benton. Kenny hasn't been arrested. Nor is it sure he will be. I'm not fully convinced of his guilt.
Yes, but I am.
Only as a result of my report?
Your report and something I discovered last night.
What?
Kurt Kenny had money bet in his finals match with Blaine. Quite a sum of money. $5,000.
Looked like a pickup jury had already found Kenny guilty. Hilda Hobson, Harry Benton, Pepe Zaretti. No vote there for Kenny's innocence. One vote for Kenny's innocence came along, however, out of left field. In the J. Cretin Memorial Club, exclusive for members only. A girl. A girl who looked as if she'd crashed, dressed in a plain business suit, no sequins in her hair, no expensive look. She caught me at the bar in the middle of a swallow.
Mr. Craig, I must talk to you.
Well, what about?
Kurt Kenny.
Your brother?
No. Kurt's just a good friend.
And you are?
Polly Blair.
Well, talk.
The infamous stories about Kurt, they're all lies. Kurt's fine and gentle. He couldn't hurt a fly.
Well, nice character reference, but how well do you know him?
As I know myself.
That's a pretty broad statement.
I know his true nature, his dreams, ambitions, his inner thoughts. You see, Kurt confides in me. I'm, someone he can talk to, frankly and openly.
You sound like a sweetheart.
Kurt's a married man.
Well, husbands sometimes stray.
Don't please add to the infamy circulating about Kurt. Isn't it difficult enough for him?
It is.
Help Kurt. Believe in him, as I believe in him. The stories you hear that Kurt could poison. Lies. All horrible, scoundrel lies.
Time, I figured, for a follow-up examination of Kurt Kenny. To get Kenny, I had to sit through a tennis match. I occupied my same seat in the grandstand box under the candy-striped awning. Same deal as before. A tall ice drink in my hand, compliments of Hilda Hobson. Hilda herself was loudly in evidence.
Aye, but Kurt is sharp today.
Yeah, going great. Service aces, passing shots, drop shots, right on his game. Like he didn't have a care in the world.
Kurt, without a care in the world.
You know better, huh?
Oh, I live with the man. He's been drinking like a fish. Up all night with insomnia. Why, he hasn't had a bite of food for days. He's playing on sheer nerve.
Oh, that's tough. Booze, insomnia, starvation. So when does he begin being homeless, Hilda?
Homeless?
You're giving him the boot, I remember you saying. Or was there a change of heart since?
There hasn't been. I want especially to be fancy-free for the eliminations this summer in Rome. Besides, I've got more reasons than ever to send Kurt packing.
Meaning Kenny's fatal match with Bobby Blaine of the other day?
You want to bandy words.
Suppose you spell it out.
Kurt poisoned Bobby Blaine.
You have proof?
Oh, you're the detective. I'm just an intuitive wife.
And your intuition convinces you, huh?
Beyond a doubt. It's all over Kurt. Guilt. Every minute with me. Even his manner and look. Guilt.
I see.
From June 23rd, 1955, Barrie Craig Confidential Investigator here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll hear the conclusion along with another episode of Claudia. That comes up following these important words on your favorite radio station.
Radio? Why should I advertise on radio? There's nothing to look at, no pictures.
Listen, you can do things on radio you couldn't possibly do on TV.
That'll be the day.
All right, watch this. Okay, people, and now when I give you the cue, I want the 700-foot mountain of whipped cream to roll into Lake Michigan, which has been drained and filled with hot chocolate. Then the Royal Canadian Air Force will fly overhead towing a 10-ton maraschino cherry, which will be dropped into the whipped cream to the cheering of 25,000 extras. All right, cue the mountain. Cue the Air Force. Cue the maraschino cherry. Okay, 25,000 cheering extras.
Now, you want to try that on television?
Well...
You see, radio is a very special medium because it stretches the imagination.
Doesn't television stretch the imagination?
Up to 27 inches, yes.
She was born in a humble shack amidst the lemon groves of Goleta, California.
Mommy, don't cry. You know what they say? When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. I was gonna say life sucks, and then you die. But I like yours better.
And with that, Alexandra Johnson launched her lemonade stand.
Lemonade, nickel a glass.
Every day, even during the frigid California winters, a bone-chilling 72 degrees, you could find her.
You can have it sour, you can have it sweet. Little girl's lemonade will knock you off your feet.
The little girl with the sour brew wanted more, national distribution, franchises, and so she rolled out a well-budgeted advertising campaign.
Me and the rest of the dockworkers only drink little girl lemonade.
She was made president of the International Sour Drink Association and chosen to give the keynote speech at their convention.
You all set with words of wisdom, honey?
You know what they say, Mommy.
Always advertise so consumers think of your product first?
I was gonna say never swallow a lemon seed or a watermelon on your tummy.
This fabricated but interesting story is to remind you that it's called advertising and it works.
Put your message on this national advertising platform by emailing classicradiotheater@gmail.com. classicradiotheater@gmail.com. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Barrie Craig Confidential Investigator, June 23rd, 1955.
Well, the set's over.
Kurt won at 6-2. That evens the match.
Third set coming up. This is where it began, Hilda.
It began?
That other day, the fatal day. Timeout before the third set, remember? Kenny and Blaine just where Kenny and Corbett are now. Under the referee's stand, sponging off, gulping salt tablets and energy pills. And 2 minutes later, Blaine fell dead.
Poor Bobby Blaine.
Yeah, weep for the dead. Tell me something, Hilda.
Tell you what?
Womanly intuition. You remarked on it before. How about manly intuition? Is there any such thing?
Do you suffer from sunstroke?
No, from shock.
Shock?
The shock of maybe soon seeing Kurt Kenny swallow an energy pill, then move over to the baseline to open service and fall down dead. Willie, Hilda? What does your intuition tell you?
You are suffering from sunstroke.
You evaded answering, and now I'm really shocked. Excuse my rush, lady. I've got to get out on the field and save a life. I was on the field in time to prevent Kenny from swallowing a white pill, salt or energy. I had to wrestle him out of his hand. Now, come on, give them up, Sonny.
Have you gone insane, Craig?
Maybe I have. A cop goes intuitive. He could be shaping up for a psychiatric ward.
But intuitive? Well, what's your idea about these pills?
I see you're getting kind of intuitive yourself. I want these pills sent to the police chemical lab for testing. If they're okay, call me impulsive. If they contain poison, call Hilda Hobson, Madam Bluebeard. Chemical lab's verdict on the pills was poison, deadly poison. I had another chat with Kurt Kenny later that evening. I found him shocked into honesty.
Sure, I bet on myself, every penny I could raise. I was so sure I could beat Bobby Blaine. You see, I needed money. My own money. I had a plan for myself.
A plan to cut loose from Madame Svengali, Hilda Hobson, that is.
Yeah, be on my own. Be a man for a change.
Divorced from Hilda and married to Polly Blair.
Yes.
Hilda then knew you were walking out.
Hilda knew. I suppose her pride was hurt.
Her homicidal instincts were aroused. The fatal tablet Blaine swallowed was meant for you. You'd innocently passed it on to Blaine that morning you gave him an automobile lift.
The morning Blaine had left his tablets in a stranded car. Poor Blaine.
You were supposed to duplicate Blaine's death fall today. Swallow a doctored tablet Hilda had sneaked into your pillbox.
Well, how could Hilda ever expect to get away with it? Plain murder.
You'd die and be pronounced a suicide from remorse. Remorse for murdering Blaine. Hilda had her out, she thought.
Craig, I owe you
You owe Polly Blair. If Polly hadn't tipped me to your romance with her, I'd never have gotten an insight into Hilda Hobson. You see, I thought Hilda was giving you the contemptuous toss. I never dreamed that Hilda was a woman scorned. I had a few parting words with Hilda Hobson in police headquarters, watching her get mugged and fingerprinted.
Kurt was leaving me. Leaving me, Hilda Hobson, for a cheap little gammon.
For a girl he could have equality with.
I suddenly saw myself as old and unwanted. Unwanted.
Very moving scene, Hilda. Normally I'm a softy for tragic emotion. But right now, for the life of me, I can't get an idiotic jingle out of my head.
Idiotic jingle? What?
I'll say it, but don't hate me. Tennis, anyone?
You have been listening to William Gargan in another exciting transcribed mystery drama from the adventures of Barrie Craig, Confidential Investigator. Tonight's story, Two Dead Men, was written by John Robert. The National Broadcasting Company has just brought you an NBC Radio Network production with William Gargan starring as Barrie Craig, Confidential Investigator, directed by Andrew C. Love. Our cast included Virginia Gregg, Herb Ellis, George Neese, and Tony Barrett.
We've said before 1955 was a bad year for radio, and this show was no exception. There was one more week to be had of Barrie Craig Confidential Investigator, and then the show would fade off into oblivion. June 23rd, 1955, Barrie Craig Confidential Investigator on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The buy one, get one free special going on now at MyPillow. MyPillow bed sheets, Giza Elegance MyPillows, the roll and go anywhere MyPillows, and 6-piece towel sets on special. Go to mypillow.com/USA, use promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175 and find out all the great deals you can get right now at MyPillow. mypillow.com/USA. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, another episode of the soap opera Claudia, this episode from June 23rd, 1948.
And now, Claudia.
Where'd we leave the car, David?
Right around the next corner.
Hey, weren't we lucky to find a parking space?
Certainly were.
Hey, don't walk so fast. I want to look in the windows.
I've been afraid of this. You women. You don't know how to walk.
I love window shopping. Doesn't cost a dime.
No, except a quarter to park the car.
Except we didn't park the car for a quarter. We parked it for nothing. It's wonderful how you can wiggle it in backwards.
Oh, think nothing of it.
I'll never learn. Oh, let's walk a little further. Hardware store's up the street on the right.
Now there is a woman after my own heart. A woman who would rather look in a hardware store window than a dress shop.
Oh, hardware is much more fascinating. Every time I look in one of those windows, I wish I had $1 million.
You just said we are window shopping.
Of course, darling. You know, ever since we've been living up here in the last 3 months, Eastbrook is growing. It seems to get busier every day, doesn't it? I bet when people look at us, they think we're vacationers or summer people.
I'll bet you 20 cents they don't.
It's a bet. David, where are you going?
I'm going to ask somebody to look at us and tell us whether he's looking at us as vacationers or natives.
David, you idiot. Come back here. Come back.
Well, if I come back, you'll lose your bet.
Oh, well, all right. It's worth 20 cents any day to save my face.
That face? I wouldn't give 20 cents for it.
Oh, you're so sweet. So complimentary. Now walk next to me. Like a stranger.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, where's the hardware store? I thought you said it was just up the block.
It is. Just up a little more.
Darling, don't walk so fast. Take it easy.
David, you're holding my arm as if I were an old woman.
I intend to treat you like an old woman for the next few days.
Ugh.
I want to make sure that I get a very young son without any more trouble than necessary.
Oh, you. Is that all you think about?
Practically all.
Me too. Every now and then, I practically forget you're about to become a father.
Oh, no bags under my eyes.
Isn't it wallets for men? Look at that sweet dress.
Yeah, we weren't going to look at sweet dresses, remember?
I'm just starting to think of dresses again.
Well, when we're in New York and you're out of the hospital, you're going to go out and buy yourself a wardrobe that will positively knock my eyes out.
Oh, I don't want to do that. Such nice eyes. No wallets under them.
Nevertheless, you're going to take yourself shopping. Not window shopping, either.
You are sweet. Did I ever tell you you're the most generous, thoughtful man I ever married?
Hey, don't walk so near the curb.
Oh, don't do this. Don't do that. What do you think you are, anyway?
The most generous, thoughtful man you ever married.
David, what is that shining over there? See? Look, in the middle of the street. There, just beyond the fire hydrant.
Oh, I don't see anything.
Looks like a dime to me. I'm just going to see what it is.
Claudia, come back here.
Is a dime. We're rich. Finders, keepers. And David, finding money is good luck. Can't throw my luck away when it's staring me in the
Claudia,
face.
get back on the sidewalk. There's a car coming.
I'm coming. You're not going to get any of this dime. Oh.
Claudia, you little idiot.
I tripped on the curb.
Did you hurt yourself?
I don't know yet. Oh, that stupid curb. It wasn't where I thought it was.
Where'd you hurt yourself? Are you all right?
Of course I'm all right. It's just my ankle, I think.
Which one?
Right one. Here.
Here. You sit there on the curb. Now, wiggle it around.
You both think I'm drunk.
Well, that's the only decent excuse for your behavior that I can think of.
Was a dime. Nice new shiny dime.
I don't want to look. Now, see if you can move your ankle around.
It's much better when I don't. And I just leave it the way it is.
You little fool. You want to get killed?
I didn't get killed. I just twisted my ankle. David, let me get off this curb. People are looking at us.
Now, let them look. Now, how badly does it hurt?
Badly.
It serves you right.
Take back everything nice I said about you. You're a mean, hard-hearted brute.
Shut up now. Now, how does it feel?
His feelings are hurt. So are mine.
Do you Think you sprained it?
I think I broke it.
Can you move it at all?
I'd rather not try. David, what am I going to do? Spend the rest of the night on this curb?
I ought to leave you here. I ought to just walk off and leave you.
Go ahead, see if I care.
Of all the foolish, stupid things to do.
If you don't leave me, I'll give you the dime. Hey, look, I can wiggle it just a little now, see? I'm perfectly all right every place else.
Except in your head.
I hate you.
I think we ought to get you in to see a doctor.
What do I want to see a doctor for?
To get your ankle strapped up. Maybe he'll have the sense to put you in a wheelchair and handcuff you.
You don't want a doctor. You want a police sergeant.
If I could get one, I would.
Besides, the only doctor I know is that pediatrician in Bridgeport I saw yesterday. He's not interested in ankles.
No? I should think any doctor would be interested in your ankles.
Oh, now you're sweet.
Well, there must be some doctor right here in Eastbrook.
Well, if you insist. Right next to the dress shop, there was a shingle. I noticed it.
The Eagle Eye. Now, here, you think you can stand up?
Of course I can stand up.
Here, I'll help you.
I feel like a stork standing on one foot.
A stork would come in handy.
Oh, you.
Now, here, put your arm around my shoulder.
Oh, this is nice. Only when there weren't so many people around.
Now, come on, darling. It's just a few steps now. Take it easy.
Stupid the way one ankle can mess everything up.
I hope the doctor's in.
Doctors are always supposed to be in, aren't they?
Now, here we are.
Oh,
Now, just 2 steps up. You want me to carry you?
I do not. Oh, I made it.
No. I'll ring the bell. His name's Dr. Barrie.
I don't know why you have to rush off and see a doctor at the mere drop of an ankle. Twisted my ankle lots of times. I never did a thing about it.
You weren't my responsibility then. Oh, here comes somebody now.
Yes?
My wife has just turned her ankle.
I'm Dr. Barrie.
Doctor?
Come in.
We hate interrupting you like this, but my husband insists.
Your husband is perfectly right.
It's a conspiracy.
I'll turn on the lights.
This is very kind of you, Doctor.
Not at all.
Oh, if you're at dinner, my ankle can certainly wait.
Been through dinner quite some time now. Now, come right in here. There you are, Mrs. Norton. Sit right down.
How'd you know who we were?
Well, you moved up here and bought the Tucker house up the road about 3 months ago, didn't you?
We didn't have any idea it was such a public affair.
Eastbrook folks have a way of knowing what's going on here, even when they're not nosy.
I love knowing other people's business.
But you are nosy.
Now, let me see this ankle. How did it happen?
Well, I know it sounds silly, but I saw a dime in the middle of the street,
and she tripped on the curb.
Young woman, you ought to be spanked.
Uh-huh.
That's just what David said.
David's right. Why, you're going to have a baby in no time at all. Got to handle yourself a mite carefully.
Are you a baby doctor, too?
I've handled quite a few in my time. Yes, indeed, I have. You'll find babies I've brought into the world and taken care of all over Eastbrook. And over a good part of the world, too.
Must be a nice feeling.
'Tis. This here your first baby? I've been watching you. You're coming around fine, Mrs. Norton. Who's bringing your son into the world?
David, he knew it was going to be a son.
Well, Dr. Barrie is a fortune teller.
Dr. Rowland in New York is taking care of me.
Thaddeus Rowland's a good man.
He sounds like Mama.
Yep, he's got a fine reputation.
We're going into town on Friday, just to be there.
That's a good idea, but 'tain't really necessary. First babies are never in a hurry. When you think he's coming right away, then you've got a good many hours to wait. So take your time, and there's nothing to hurry about.
Well, you're very reassuring to talk to, Doctor.
Just experience, my boy. While I've been practicing medicine, I've seen babies get into the world in the dangdest ways. Yep, it'd amaze you how much they want to get here. Then, 20 years later, they can't figure out why they did.
I see what you mean.
I don't expect Mrs. Norton here is going to have much trouble.
Oh, no.
I've been watching her these few months. She's a fine, healthy young woman. Have yourself some tobacco, Mr. Norton.
Oh, thank you. I don't mind if I do.
Say, I hope you didn't change the paneling in the hall in the Tucker house.
No, as a matter of fact, we didn't touch it.
Nice house, the Tucker house.
Yes, it is.
Spent a good many hours there. I was always kind of afraid of some city folks who would buy the place and turn it into some kind of a curio shop.
Well, sometime when you have the time, you'll have to come down and see exactly what we've done to it, Doctor.
Be looking forward to it.
By the way, that's a nice-sized trout you have up there on the wall.
Caught him right down in back of Eastbrook in the stream near your house.
Really?
He gave me quite a tussle. I don't go for stuffing fish and hanging them up on the wall, but Mrs. Barrie, well, she thought this one had a right nice look in his eye, and we ought to keep him around for a while.
Yes, I agree with Mrs. Barrie. Fishing's nice, but once you've caught the fish, the fun's over.
You women folk, you're all the same.
This is a nice, comfortable room, isn't it, David?
It's the sort of room that you feel you've been in before.
I guess I ought to do a little fixing up in here. Modernize it a bit, maybe, but, well, I've been practicing a long time now. And you get so you hate to change things.
I know.
I'll get the adhesive tape, young lady, and we'll strap that ankle of yours. You stay off of it now for 24 hours.
24 hours?
If it pains you tonight, put an ice bag on it and take an aspirin. If you still got trouble with it tomorrow or the next day, call me and I'll run down to see you.
Just talking to you makes it feel better already.
Well, I'll tell you how I feel. Medicine's a fine thing because it helps people. And I like to be here when I'm needed. Now, your baby's going to come into this world all right, Mrs. Norton. One thing about babies, you can't stop them coming into the world. They seem to like it. And, Mr. Norton, drop in late some afternoon before the trout season's over. Maybe we can find something important to talk about. Now, I'll be with you in just a minute.
David, what are you thinking about?
He's a nice man, isn't he? Sort of makes me feel as if my father were still alive.
That's how I feel. And he's just the kind of man our son would like as a grandfather. Don't you think?
I think so.
Isn't life amazing? Here tonight we came down to Eastbrook just to buy some toothpaste. And when we were window shopping for nothing, I found a dime and a doctor for our son.
Well, hang on to that dime, darling. So far, it's good luck.
Dum 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 dum. La 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 la.
In restaurants and at soda fountains, on dining cars and at roadside stands, lunch with Coke makes lunchtime refreshment time. Listen to the orders. Ham sandwich and Coke, hamburger and Coke, shrimp salad and Coke, they say to the man behind the counter or the waiter bending over the table. Keep plenty of Coca-Cola in your refrigerator, and you can lunch refreshed at home. It's a good idea. Try it.
Well, Joe, it looks like we've stumbled onto the doctor we've been looking for.
Stumble is right. How's Claudia's ankle?
Oh, she'll be all right. It's nothing serious. On the contrary, though, a very profitable stumble.
Well, Dr. Barrie is my kind of doctor, too, David. I'm glad it worked out this way.
Well, when we need him, which I hope won't be too often, he'll be the right one. Now, I've got to be getting along.
Going home, David?
I promised Claudia an ice cream soda first. She calls it her reward.
David, she'll get her reward tomorrow.
You mean another ice cream soda?
No, but ice cream.
Oh?
Homemade ice cream.
Oh.
Sleep on it, David. And good luck for tomorrow.
Well, thanks for the warning. So long, Joe.
Bye, David.
From June 23rd, 1948, Claudia on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please thank this station and support their advertisers. It's their kindness and courtesy that allow us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. And remember, our programs are available anywhere podcasts are served, including Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast, Amazon, to search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And at our webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting, contact me there, and if you like what we do, you can buy me a coffee. That'll help us find more great old-time radio shows, and maybe get me a Dr. Pepper, don't you know? Hey, thanks for tuning in. Tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.